Namaskar, Salam, Sat Shri Akal, good morning. I welcome you all to this class of mine. In this part 4 on spotting errors, I will tell you how a good grammar helps a student spot errors in given sentences. In my previous 3 videos, I highlighted some important grammatical errors of serious nature which students come across in their English question papers when they appear in some highly competitive exams. In this part 4, I will highlight other important grammatical errors which you may come across in your coming competitive exams. If students are familiar with all the important grammatical basics like tenses, parts of speech, the correct use of relative pronouns, non-finites, subject-verb agreement, they should not feel any difficulty in detecting errors in sentences. Without saying much in this respect, I want to start telling you these sentences which will highlight other grammatical errors. But before that, I want you to please subscribe the channel. Let me take this sentence now. The media spun out tales of rivalry among us, but in reality, we were warm towards each other. There is an error in one part of this sentence. Try to find out which part of the sentence contains that error. Let us check each part of the sentence. The media spun out tales of. There is nothing wrong in this A part. Spun out, correct phrasal verb. The media spun out tales of, correct. Rivalry among us, but in reality, there is an error in this part. We should not use among here. This is wrong. We should use between. I will tell you the reason why you should take between here, because this part, each other, is telling you that the sentence is talking about two persons. So, it should be between, not among. We take among preposition for more than two persons. So, part C is correct. This is the way you can spot errors in given sentences. But you don't have to write answers. You will have to tell which part of that given sentence is wrong. I am writing you these corrections just to tell you. In examination, you don't have to write these corrections. Let us go through this sentence. I have thought and concluded that the debt which I owe to you cannot be repaid. Let us try to find out which part of the sentence contains an error. I have thought and concluded. Subject verb agreement, perfect, present perfect tense. A part is correct. B, that the debt which, this is also correct. I owe to you cannot be repaid. It means there is an error in C part. Let us try to find out that error. I owe to you cannot be repaid. This preposition to should not come. This preposition is wrong. That the debt which I owe you cannot be repaid. Owe is never followed by any preposition or by preposition to. So the sentence is, I have thought and concluded that the debt which I owe you cannot be repaid. Apple's stores now offer one of the grandest experience for any brand worldwide. There are three parts in this sentence. Let us try to find out which part of this sentence contains an error. Take part A. Apple's stores now offer. Subject verb agreement is perfect, simple present tense, nothing wrong. This is correct. One of the grandest experience. There seems to be a mistake in part B. What that mistake is? It should be experiences, not experience. This noun should be in plural. When we say one of the, then adjective, that noun after that adjective should be plural. So, one of the grandest experiences for any brand worldwide. C part is correct. So, this is the way you should always try to find out an error in any given sentence. People who knew the famous singer tells stories how he loved books and nature and how he lived his moments with both. This sentence carries a mistake in one of its parts. You will have to find out which part of the sentence contains an error. People who knew the famous singer, subject and this who knew, both are in perfect agreement with each other. There is nothing wrong in the part A. This is correct. People who knew the famous singer. Let us check part B. Tells stories how he loved books and. There is a mistake in B part. Can you find out which mistake this is? You should use tell in place of tells. It should be tell. Because you will have to use this finite verb with this subject people. People is the subject. So you will use tell, not tells. People who knew the famous singer tell stories how he loved books and nature and how he lived his moments with both. This part is also correct. So he plays the classical cricket shots all round the park, and now he has added power to his games. You will have to find out which part of this sentence contains an error, or you can say which part of the sentence is wrong. To find this out, you will have to check each part of the sentence grammatically. He plays the classical cricket shots. Subject verb agreement is very much there. He plays simple present tense, nothing wrong. Classical cricket shots, this part is correct. Grammar of this part is correct. All round the park and now, this is also correct. Nothing wrong. It means there is an error in C part. Let us find out what that error is. He has added power to his games. We should use game in place of games. This S will not come. This S will not come. Game. This noun should be used in singular form. He has added power to his game. So this was the error. So in your examination, you will indicate part C wrong. You don't have to write this correction. I am explaining this correction just to make the grammatical part clear. The government may explore the option of importing dairy products as there is a supply constraints for them. There are three parts in this sentence. The one part of this sentence carries an error. Just try to find out which part of the sentence contains an error. Let us check each part of the sentence. The government may explore. Nothing wrong. This part is correct. Option of importing dairy products. Preposition is correct. Option of importing dairy products. Nothing wrong. Correct. As there is a supply constraints for them. There is a correction here. This part contains an error. Try to find out that error. The error is of constraints. It should be constraint. This S should not be there. It should be singular constraint, because this is your helping verb is. The complement, or you can say object, should agree with this helping verb is. So it should be constraint, not constraints. So this, both countries reiterated their commitment to find opportunities to further enhance unilateral cooperation. Which part of the sentence do you think contains an error? Let us check each part. Both countries reiterated their. Simple past tense, subject verb, agreement is very much there. A part is correct. Commitment to find opportunities, there is nothing wrong in this part B also. So it means there is an error in C part. Let us try to find out that error. To further enhance unilateral cooperation, it should be bilateral in place of unilateral. This is wrong. It should be bilateral because the sentence is talking about two countries, both countries. That is why you will take bilateral. Unilateral means one-sided. Consumers aged 35 years and beyond are emerging like new shoppers on online platforms. Which part of the sentence do you think contains an error? Let us try each part to find that error. Consumers aged 35 years, correct, and beyond are emerging, perfect present continuous tense, subject verb agreement is very much here, like new shoppers on online platforms. It means there is an error in C part. Try to find out that error. We should not use like here. This like is incorrect. We should use as. Like adjective, in place of this adjective, we should use adverb. So the sentence will be consumers aged 35 years and beyond are emerging as new shoppers on online platforms. The club will rope in some professional players from outside the state alongside the local footballers to fill in the roster. You will have to find out which part of this sentence is incorrect. Let us try each part of this sentence. The club will rope in some. Simple future tense, correct. Rope in. This phrasal verb, this is also correct, nothing wrong. Professional players from outside, this is also correct. Noun, adjective, from outside, preposition is correct, nothing wrong. It means there is a correction in part C. Let us find out that error. The state alongside the local footballers to fill in the roster. The state alongside the local footballers, correct. So there is a mistake in the use of phrasal verb. In place of to fill in, you will use to fill up. So this preposition in is wrong. In place of this preposition in, you should use up. To fill up. To fill in means to complete something like a form or a blank space. To fill up means to make something full. So in place of to fill in, there should be to fill up. This is the way you will check each part of the given sentence to find an error. Then in your examination you will indicate which part of the sentence is incorrect. You don't have to write this correction. The correction I am explaining to you, guiding you how you should trace out the error in any given sentence. It will have a chilling effect on freedom of speech and allow for vilification of an elected representative. There are three parts in this sentence. Which part of the sentence do you think contains an error? Let us check each part. It will have a chilling effect. The error lies in part A itself. It should be effect in place of effect. You should use noun here, not verb. It will have a chilling effect. So you have to use noun in place of verb effect. Other parts are obviously correct. Very simple sentence. The court said it would be difficult for us to pass orders behind anyone's back. Which part of this sentence do you think contains an error? Let us check each part of this sentence. The court said it would be. This part is correct. Some of you may think that the court said that it would be. That should have been used here, that relative pronoun. The court said that it would be. No, omission of this relative pronoun that doesn't have any serious mistake. This is perfect. So A part is perfect. Difficult for us to pass orders. Infinitive is correct. Preposition is correct. This part is also correct. Behind anyone's back, it means there is an error in part C. In place of anyone's, you will use someone's. This is wrong. It should be someone's. In place of anyone's. Sentence noun. The authorities say that territorial army has helped to arrest flow of waste into the river. Which part of the sentence do you think contains an error? Let us check each part of the sentence. The authorities say that. Subject verb agreement is perfect, nothing wrong. Let us check part B. Territorial army has helped to arrest. There is an error in this part. It should not be to arrest. It should be territorial army has helped arrest. Helped finite verb will carry infinitive without to. This to should not come. Territorial army has helped arrest. Words like help, make, wish carry bare infinitive. Bare infinitive means without to. So this to will not come. Helped arrest. This part is correct, flow of waste into the river. So remember that verbs help, wish, make, they carry bare infinitive, infinitive without to. What a schoolboy says about curd, that it goes in sleep at night and wakes up in the morning tight. The sentence is funny in its nature. What a schoolboy says about curd, that it goes in sleep at night and wakes up in the morning tide. Which part of the sentence contains an error? Let us check each part. What a schoolboy says about curd, there is nothing wrong about this part. Correct. That it goes in sleep at night, there seems to be a correction here. You will use preposition to in place of preposition in. This is wrong. You will have to take to. That it goes to sleep at night and wakes up in the morning tide. C part is correct. Isn't it a good sentence? The actor is seen in his element, pulling off some extraordinary stunts that showcases him an ideal commercial hero. One part of the sentence contains an error. Just try to find out which part contains that error. Let us check each part. The actor is seen in his element. This is correct. Nothing wrong. Pulling off some extraordinary stunts. This phrase is also correct. Pulling off some extraordinary stunts. Correct. Nothing wrong. Take part C, that showcases him an ideal commercial hero. Clearly this part has some error. The error is that of showcases. It should be showcase. I will tell you the reason why you will take showcase, because this is your antecedent, stunt. This is your antecedent. This is plural in its nature, so you will use showcase. This finite verb should be singular. It should not be showcases. So this was the correction in part C, that showcased him an ideal commercial hero. But in examination, you will not be asked to write that error. You will have to find out which part of the sentence is incorrect one. If you are in the mood to splurge, get one that runs on power and need to be plugged into your car. There is an error in one of the parts of the sentence. Just try to find out where that error lies. Try to check each part. If you are in the mood to splurge, in the mood, that is infinitive, to splurge, that is also correct, nothing wrong. A part is correct. Get one that runs on power and need. There is an error in this part. See, this is your finite verb in simple present tense. So it should be needs. This finite verb should be in simple present tense. Runs, needs, both should match. So this was the error here. C part is correct. Sentence. The news of groundwater extraction being less than recharge is welcome, but the report was silent on other aspects. Which part of this sentence do you think contains an error? Let us try to check each part of the sentence. The news of groundwater extraction, preposition is correct, nothing wrong. This part is okay. Being less than recharge is welcome. This is also correct. Being less than recharge is welcome, nothing wrong. But the report was silent on other aspects. Do you think this part of this sentence contains an error? No. What is correct? Conjunction is correct. Was silent, correct. On preposition, this is correct. Conjunction correct. There is no error in this part also. It means this sentence contains no error. No error. All the parts are perfect grammatically. Sentence. Do not argue with heat and clamor until you are sure yourself to be in the right. Which part of this sentence do you think is incorrect? Let us try to check each part of this sentence. Do not argue with heat and clamor. This is correct. Imperative sentence. So there is nothing wrong about this part. So this is clear. Until you are sure yourself. There is a mistake in this part, B. Can you find out that mistake in this part? There is a wrong conjunction here. In place of until, it should be unless. Until refers to time limit. Unless refers to a condition. So, unless is a correct conjunction here. Until will not give a correct meaning, and C part is correct. And let me tell you one thing more. In your examination you will get D part also. In D part you will find the words written no error. So I have not mentioned that D part. In your examination you will indicate which part of that given sentence is wrong. You don't have to write the correction. I am explaining you how to detect an error in any given sentence. She was a piano teacher, but after turning 100, she started to build a significant fan base on social media. There is an error in one of the parts of this sentence. You will have to find out which part of the sentence contains that error. Let us check each part. She was a piano teacher, very simple one, nothing wrong. But after turning 100, she started to build. There is an error in this part. Can you trace out that error? We should not use infinitive to build here. No, we should not use to build. It should be present participle building. Both are non-finites, building and to build. But we have to use present participle as a non-finite. Third part is correct. A significant fan base on social media. Sentence. He made his test debut in 1974 and scored a gritty 77. Though India suffered innings defeat. Which part of this sentence do you think contains an error? Let us try to analyze each part of this sentence. He made his test debut in 1974. There is a perfect subject verb agreement. Simple past tense has been used. He made his test debut in 1974. There is nothing wrong in this part. And scored a gritty 77. This is again correct. Made and scored. Nothing wrong. Simple past, right? Though India suffered innings defeat. It means there is an error in this part C. Try to find out that error. Though India suffered innings defeat. It should be though India suffered an innings defeat. And will come here, this indefinite article. Innings is always preceded by indefinite article and. So the sentence will be, he made his test debut in 1974 and scored a gritty 77, though India suffered an innings defeat. Let me read this sentence now. The cops said they would also investigate if the bookies have purchased the tickets on their own. Which part of the sentence do you think is incorrect? Let us check each part of this sentence. The cops said they would also investigate. The sentence is in simple past tense. So said is correct. Would is also correct, indicates past tense. If the bookies have purchased, there is an error in this part B. We should not use have here. In place of have, it should be had. Had. You will have to maintain the sequence of tenses. The complete sentence should be in past tense. So you will use had in place of have. This is correct. This is the way you should always try to check each part of the given sentence grammatically. Dear students, you may have been able to learn how to detect an error in any given sentence. When you are able to detect a particular error in any given sentence, you will always be able to spot the incorrect part of that sentence. You should always try to check the grammar of each part of the given sentence. When you are able to detect an error in that given sentence, you will always be able to mark the wrong part of that sentence. I will highlight many more grammatical errors through new sentences in my coming videos. Always remember, good grammar helps you spot errors. Till then, goodbye. Please do like and subscribe. Press the bell icon on all to get updates. God bless you all.